Good morning. Wish to call to order this meeting of the Monroe County Board of Commissioners. It is Wednesday, August the 23rd, 2023. I will note for the record that all three commissioners are present here in the Nat U Hill room. We'll proceed with our public statement. We, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, renew our commitment to welcome and protect the rights of all people, regardless of age, race, color, creed, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, marital status, economic status, and national origin. And we affirm the right of every person to live peacefully and without fear. And we will fight and resist at every step discrimination and harmful policies, whatever their source. We also stand in support of our county public school systems, both RBB and MCCSC. At this time, we'll take department updates. Start with Ms. Kelly, if she is with us. There she is. Morning.
Yeah. Good morning. So statewide, we continue to see an increase in the number of COVID cases and emergency room visits for COVID-like illnesses. This information is relevant going back to August 15th. We are monitoring the variant EG5. This has been noted to be taking a lead in the cause of cases. Also, a new concern is BA 2.86. This new variant is genetically different from Omicron. Therefore, this is a highly mutated variant. It's unclear at this time as to whether this strain will cause more severe illness. But just as a reminder, there are many ways in which we can protect ourselves and others from serious illness from COVID-19. This includes hand hygiene, ensuring we are up to date with vaccines, testing at the onset of symptoms, and use of a mask.
Thank you. Questions or comments from my colleagues? No questions. Thank you. Do we have any update on when both the flu and the new COVID vaccine might be available?
We are still expecting shipments to begin rolling out around Labor Day weekend, so hopefully within a week or two of that date.
And are COVID test kits still available both at the health office and on Miller Drive?
Yes, we do still have tests available for free. You can walk in 8 to 4 and pick those up at our Vital Records department.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any other department with an update? We have jail. No? I was looking forward to seeing you. What is this? Okay. Seeing no other department with an update, we'll move to public comment. This is for items not on the agenda. It's limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Is there anyone here in the Nat U Hill room who wishes to make a public statement? If not, we'll go to Zoom, where we have Mr. Shelton.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Shelton, a Monroe County resident, here representing the Chamber, but speaking at the moment on behalf of Court-Appointed Special Advocates, or CASAs. Again, I want to make the public aware that CASA's fall training will start in just about a month. It's going to go from September 19th to October 19th. The format will be different from the past. It will be in the mornings. So it will be on Tuesday and Thursday mornings from 10 to 1. There'll be a total of 10 sessions spread out over that month. Once you've finished the training, you would be sworn in by Judge Harvey, and then you would be assigned a case. And you would work that case along with one of the CASA staff members. So if there was some hearing you couldn't be at, the person you're working it with could. Or if there are things that come up that you need help with, again, you'd have a seasoned staffer who's been doing this for a long time to help you with whatever may arise. So it's a wonderful volunteer opportunity. You get to help children, you'll get to learn a lot, and you'll be doing something important for your community. So again, applications are due September the 8th. You can go to monroecountycasa.org, click on the volunteer link, and there'll be a drop-down menu. that'll provide you a lot of information and also will provide you the opportunity to submit the application online. So thank you for the opportunity to share that with the public.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton, and thank you for the work that you do. Is there anyone else with public comment? If not, we'll move on to approval of the minutes.
I move approval of the minutes for August 16, 2023.
Second.
Any comments or corrections?
None.
Not, a call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes from August 16th, 2023 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
I move approval of the claims docket accounts payable August 23rd, 2023, and payroll August 25th, 2023.
Second.
And we have Mrs. Miller with us. Good morning.
Good morning. The accounts payable claims docket for August 23rd, 2023 totals $8,097,085.41. The payroll docket for August 25th, 2023 includes $1,327,949.15 in direct costs, and the remaining $564,561.19 were for indirect costs, for a grand total of $1,892,510.34.
Thank you. Questions or comments?
No, I don't.
None. Thank you.
The claims of over 8 million were a little bit of a shock, but I will say that a lot of that was that we were directing money tax money we had collected out to the entities that are due to receive it. So it's not that we were spending a whole lot of money this month.
Yes, that is correct.
Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, call for a vote on approval of claims, accounts payable August 23rd, 2023, and payroll August 25th, 2023. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. I will note for the record that we have reports from the Clerk of the Circuit Court for July of 2023 and from our County Treasurer for July of 2023. And so let's move on to new business.
I move approval of the Indiana Youth Services Association grant, fund name 1503 YSB grant, fund number 9111, and the grant amount of $42,860.
Second.
And we have, are you Vanessa? Okay, great. We have Vanessa Schmidt with us. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having me. Vanessa Schmidt, Deputy Director over at Youth Services Bureau. So again, I'm just here to request a signature on our Indiana Youth Services Association grant. This grant is not new to us, but it requires signature on that contract for us to be able to receive that funding.
Comments or questions?
Just glad that it's still happening.
Yes, I am as well. Is there any public comment on this item? I will say that these don't just magically appear. You have to apply for them and work to get them. And
That
so
is correct.
I appreciate the effort that you go to make sure
you.
this happens. So since there's no public comment, call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the Indiana Youth Services Association grant signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Thank you, Ms. Schmidt.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next item.
I move approval of the combined public communications agreement amendment.
Second.
And now we get to see Jail Commander Givens.
Here I am. Good to see everybody. What we're trying to do with our CPC contract is change how mail comes into the facility and how it's processed. We're trying to cut down on prohibited items, contraband, drugs, things like that coming through the mail. But what we're also trying to do is it opens the availability for inmates to correspond with family through email, pictures, emails. We're looking at possibly video down the road, like video messages type thing. What we're trying to do is extend it by 2 years. I was looking at a way that we can incorporate this new service without costing us money. So they said that we can just extend the contract for 2 years, which we likely would have done anyway, once we hit that end of that first contract with the approval, obviously with you guys. But what we're really trying to increase efficiency. And as you guys have probably know, that when it comes to legal mail and mail in general, that is something there's high liability with, not just with the protection of the facility, but with ensuring inmates can properly correspond with their attorneys, and the courts, and the family, and things of that nature.
Questions or comments?
No, I don't.
I will just say it's ironic because you and I were in the group during the pony training from the Department of Justice on building a new facility. And we dealt with the mail, and it was, you know, it seems so simple on the surface, but it really isn't. And it is about protecting rights, ensuring people have communication. And this sounds like a great plan. There's no additional cost, so it's just extending the contract out.
Yeah, it's literally extending the current contract by 2 years.
Okay, great.
Which the CPC contract includes our kiosks and our visits and our commissary and things of that nature.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.
So there's also the issue of the mail being processed off-site. And, well, two questions. How do we ensure the confidentiality of the mail? Because especially with the attorney-client relations.
Well, with legal mail, that'll still come in physically. Legal mail is the only mail that will come into along with books and things from the publisher and things of that nature, obviously. But legal mail, what we'll do is we'll still open it in front of the inmate because what people have started to do, without giving too much to the public, is they're altering what looks like legal mail, and it's soaked in some kind of substance that you can't see with the naked eye. So what we're going to do is open it in front of the inmate. We'll literally copy it at the door. They will get the copy, and we will shred the original so that it doesn't go anywhere else. It protects their attorney-client privilege. The off-site portion of it, we're going to give about 4 to 6 weeks to families to let them know, like, hey, on this date, we're going to institute a new P.O. box off-site. CPC uses a service called Text Behind, which is just part of CPC that we don't have a contract with them. That's just how they process it. They'll get the money or the mail in the P.O. box. They'll scan it all in, and then they will email it to each inmate in our facility. But what that allows us to do still is to ensure we can spot check it. We can see if things are appropriate, if pictures are appropriate to come into our facility. If an inmate in A block is somehow corresponding with an inmate in E block and talking about how they're going to take over the facility, we'll be able to spot check those things still. But legal mail itself will still come in the normal way.
So I was also going to ask about scanning, looking at pictures and stuff so that we don't have inappropriate items coming in.
Yep.
So, okay. So is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll call for.
Looks like there might be one.
Oh,
on Zoom.
okay, there is one online. Would you please state your full name and whether or not you're a Monroe County resident, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, thank you. This is Lee Grunhafer. I was wondering if there's a cost for the inmates for this service, or if there's like, they have to buy time on a machine to look at these documents. Thank you.
There is no cost to the inmate. However, down the road, if there's going to be a cap on photos that come in, and if you want additional photos, it could cost money. That is not in any kind of service currently with CPC, but it would not change the mail whatsoever. That'll never cost the inmates.
Thank you, and thank you, Lee, for that question. I think that's important for the public to know. Before we call for vote, any other comments or questions from my colleagues? If not, call for a vote on the Combined Public Communications Agreement Amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you, Commander, for being with us today and for bringing that forward. Next item, please.
I move approval of ordinance 2023-27, the Casey Shake rezone.
Second.
And we have Mr. Brown with us virtually, I believe. Good morning.
Good morning. So again, this is the Shake Rezone REZ-23-2, given ordinance number 2023-27. This is from agricultural rural reserve to MR and agricultural rural reserve to limited business. So this is one. So the petitioner was originally proposing to amend the zoning map so that a 1.05 acre portion of the property is rezoned from agricultural rural reserve to medium density residential. After the plan review committee meeting, the petitioner made an additional proposal requesting that a sliver of the subject parcel measuring an estimated 0.09 acres also be rezoned as limited business, so that may be added to the limited business property directly to the north. The newly proposed 0.96 acre medium density residential lot would satisfy all lot and building requirements listed in Chapter 804, and the remaining sliver would be transferred to the adjacent property to the north, again, through a subdivision process. Here's the comprehensive plan discussion. I went through this during the work session, but would the commissioners like for me to go through it again? I'm sorry, I don't think I shared my screen, I apologize.
I think in fairness to the public, yes, it would be good to share this.
Apologies, I meant to share this earlier. Would the commissioners like for me to go through this?
Yes.
Okay. So this is located in the MCUA mixed residential zone of the Monroe County Comprehensive Plan. Points that align with the proposed rezone are highlighted in green. Points that differ are highlighted in gray. I will be going through the green objects first. Mixed residential neighborhoods accommodate a wide variety of both single-family and attached housing types integrated into a cohesive neighborhood. They may also include neighborhood commercial uses as a local amenity. For bike, pedestrian, and transit modes, they must have tree lawns of sufficient width to support large shade trees. For sewer and water, the majority of mixed residential areas designated in the land use plan are located within existing sewer service areas. For urban agriculture, there must be dedicated lots of land solely used for community food production if there are any. For parking ratios, single-family lots will typically provide 1 to 2 spaces in a garage or driveway. For site design, the front setbacks must range from 10 to 20 feet with porches, lawns, or landscape gardens between the sidewalk and building face. Garages and parking areas should be located to the rear of buildings accessed from a rear lane or alley. For materials, high quality materials such as brick, stone, wood, and cementous fiber should be encouraged. And for private signs, mixed residential neighborhoods should not feel like a typical subdivision tract. It may be appropriate for neighborhoods to include gateway features and signs, but these should be used sparingly and in strategic locations rather than for individually platted subareas. Now for the gray items, which differ from the Monroe County Comprehensive Plan, for streets, the street system should be interconnected to form a block pattern, though it is not necessary to be an exact grid. An emphasis on multiple interconnected streets, which also includes alley access for services and parking, will maximize the need for collector streets, which are common in more conventional suburban residential neighborhoods. And for bike, pedestrian, and transit modes, streets should have sidewalks on both sides. Here are the findings of fact for the rezone. A is the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan designates the petition site as MCUA mixed residential, which includes rural property, environmentally sensitive areas. The intention of the petitioner, if the rezone is approved, is to allow for an existing home on the lots to remain there. B, current conditions and the character of current structures and uses for each district. The rezone, in addition to the items under section A, the rezone request is to change a portion of these 5.04 acres from agricultural rural reserve to medium density residential and limited business. The current use of the petition parcel is residential and is developed. It has 1 residential structure and 1 residential accessory structure on site, which actually I've been informed by the petitioner is no longer the case. They applied for a demolition permit for an accessory structure on the lot, and so now only the residential structure remains. The adjacent uses are residential or commercial, and adjacent zoning is AgRR, planned unit development, medium density residential, and limited business. C, the most desirable use for which the land in each district is adapted. Again, see findings under section A and B. In addition to those, the site consists almost entirely of buildable area, which we classify as slopes 15% and under, and there are no known karst features. Item D, the conservation of the property values throughout the jurisdiction. Property values tend to be subjective, and the effect of the approval of the rezone on property values is difficult to determine. And item E, responsible development and growth. In addition to findings under section A, B, and C, access off North Smith Pike, which according to the Monroe County Thoroughfare Plan is classified as a major collector road. And here is the letter from the petitioner to this was for the Plan Commission, but I think that this could apply to the commissioners as well. And here are some aerial images of the sites. The one on the left is just a location map. The one on the right shows the slope areas. As you can see, there is almost no slope, over 12% on this lot, and buildable areas defined as areas 15% and under. Here is the current zoning map. It is surrounded largely by medium density residential, one limited business lot to the north, PUD to the east, and agricultural rural reserve to the south. As well as the comprehensive plan, it is bordered by, I think, designated communities to the west, and is in largely a mixed residential area. Here's again another image of the site, as well as a front yard image of the property. This one is showing the location of where a structure was removed. The one on the right is the structure that I've been informed has been removed since the Plan Commission meeting. This does, however, there is, however, still parking satisfaction from the standards in the comprehensive plan, as there is a garage on the rear of the property, as shown in photo 6 on page 50 of the packet. And here is the original site plan that was presented to the Plan Review Committee that shows the lot layout. And here's the updated version after the Plan Review Committee meeting that was presented to the Plan Commission. And here are the two side by side. As you can see, there is a small sliver here that is going to be added to the limited business zone. So during the July 18th, 2023 meeting, the Monroe County Plan Commission forwarded this rezone with positive recommendation to the county commissioners by a vote of 7-0. Staff recommends approval based on the petition's compatibility with Monroe County Comprehensive Plan, subject to the following condition: that the petitioner submit appropriate subdivision applications to demonstrate the 1.05 acre portions rezoned limited business and medium density residential as a separate lot of record. Are there any questions from the commissioners?
Commissioner Jones?
No.
Commissioner Thomas?
No questions. I'll just state for the record that Dr. Sheikh is veterinary services, takes care of our family pets, but there's been no financial consideration.
So I always need to ask about this. So now we ask to hear from the petitioner. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the petitioner, and then you'll give anybody wishing to speak in favor of this 15 minutes and anybody wishing to speak in opposition of this 15 minutes.
Please come forward, state your name, and sign in, please.
Hi, my name is Casey Sheikh. Of course, as you're well aware, I'm the owner and the petitioner for this project. I want to first take time to thank the commissioners for taking this proposed plan into consideration. My goal for this project is basically to preserve as much agricultural land as I can. That's my main goal. As far as adding a sliver to the limited business section, I know that question was asked during the work session. My reasoning for that is that area is where clients most commonly take their dogs to urinate and defecate. So if I add that portion to the limited business, then in the future, if I choose to sell the house off, then those animals, clients are taking their dogs on my property to urinate and defecate. Basically, I'm trying to eliminate a messy situation down the road, essentially. So, but yeah, my main goal is just to preserve as much agricultural land as I can, and then add that little section to the business to eliminate problems down the road, so. All right,
I appreciate that.
thank you.
Questions from my colleagues?
I also appreciate that.
At this point, is there anyone who wishes to speak in favor of the petition? I can't see if there's anyone online right now, so TSD, can you help us out there? Thank you. Seeing none, is there anyone who wishes to speak against this petition? Seeing none, Mr. Cockrell.
I was just thinking of something that Commissioner Thomas said, and I just want to make sure I understood it correctly. She said there was no remuneration when she took her animals in. I'm assuming she means she did not receive any remuneration, not that she did not pay any remuneration. Which is, depending on how you think about that, matters. So I just wanted to confirm that.
Thank you. I haven't had enough caffeine today. Thank you.
If Dr. Shake is paying people to come see him, I might have to go get a pet for extra income here. Yeah. So at this point, I think we've heard from everyone. Do we need a roll call vote on this, or is it fine just to do a voice vote?
I think you could do a voice vote or a roll call vote. It's your choice. I think the past couple you've asked for roll call votes, but it's totally your call.
Well, I'd like to just call for a voice vote then. All in favor of the passing ordinance 2023-27, the Casey Shake rezone, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion passes 3-0. Thank you, Dr. Shake, for joining us today. So with that, we have no appointments. For announcements, as you heard earlier, there is still free COVID testing available at the Monroe County Health Department at 119 West 7th Street, and also at the Monroe County Public Health Clinic at 333 East Miller Drive. The commissioners continue to have virtual office hours via Zoom. If you're interested, please get on the county website at co.monroe.in.us and click on the calendar to see when one of us is available. We continue to have blood drives. The next one is today from 1 to 7 p.m. and there's another one tomorrow from 1 to 7 at Ivy Tech in Shreve Hall. And then we have 2 in September as well, on September 7th from 1 to 6, and Friday, September the 8th from 10 to 3. All of these are at Ivy Tech. We are under a heat advisory. There are cooling stations available for people who need them during the daylight hours. You're cautioned that many of these do not allow you to bring pets with you, and they are not places where you can sleep, but they are available for those who need them. You can find more information about this, I hope, at the emergency management link, which is part of our website. And again, for people who are financially qualified, we have extended the assistance fund to county residents who need assistance in paying for rent or utilities. And if you're in that situation, please contact your township trustee. Every resident of Monroe County has a township trustee. Do either of my colleagues have any announcements?
No, I don't.
No, it looks like the emergency management page does not have that information on it, but we can make sure that we post. Oh, here we go. It's under at co.monroe.in.us under View Important News, right in the center. The red banner is a listing of all the cooling stations.
And I read also today that if you have your pet on a leash or in a kennel, that Rural King and 1 or 2 other places will allow you to come inside for if you need to cool down, which is very, very generous. So we thank the local businesses that are helping out with this too. But we encourage everyone to hydrate, to stay well, to know the signs of heat stroke and heat exhaustion, and to avoid those if at all possible. it looks like it's going to stay hot through Friday. So,
And check on your neighbors.
yes, yes, definitely. And remember that your animals also need to be taken care of in different ways sometimes with this heat.
Yes.
Yes.
Do not leave them in the car.
Oh my gosh, no. So with that, we are adjourned. We do have a work session. It's 10:33. Should we come back at 10:45? Does that suit? Okay, we'll see you all back at 10:45. Thank you, everyone.